Welcome back. Now let's turn our attention to Tamil Nadu after the case of Perumal Murugan, who announced he would stop writing in reaction to protests against his book. Now comes the case of another Tamil writer, Puliyur Murugesan. He was not only abducted from his house and assaulted, but he now faces a case of obscenity against him for his latest novel. He is the author of 13 books of short stories, but he sparked off a controversy after a book which deals with the life of a transgender. Murugesan was slapped with a case by the police, which includes charges of wantonly provocating a riot, writing and circulating obscene content. A court in Tamil Nadu's Karur district has granted him anticipatory bail. Mr. Murugesan is joining us live from Tamil Nadu right now. You have told us in the past that you fear for the safety of your family. Can you tell us what exactly this book is about? We only have the bare minimum of the story. Why is there such a protest from this particular community of the Congos?
Hello.
Yes, Mr. Murugesan, if you can hear the question, tell us about your book, why you feel it has sparked off this kind of protest.
Yes, I know. 3 months back, I released this book, which is content 13 short stories collection. In one story, I talk about purely transgender's life. On that story, what I write now, each and every transgenders, what they happen from their family only. First, they start sexual harassment. Other than the society. So I wrote this that separate story about transgenders feeling in their words, but that community people's what they think, this is hurt our community, their community. So they ask why you wrote about our caste. But I frankly told them, this is not about your story, this is a transgender story.
So, Mr. Murugesan, why do they feel that they have been attacked? In fact, the information we have is that you were even willing to apologize. If you stand by what you've written, why were you considering an apology?
Previously, what they told me, you heard about all us. So you apologize to. But I frankly told, if my story hurt about you, I excuse for my words. Again, the mass people came to my house, near about 20 persons, and kidnapped me from my house. They attacked heavy weapons near about 3 or 4 hours outside of my house.
So
that is the reason.
So you apologize because you were afraid.
Now till I am afraid for that.
Tell us what kind of threats you've received.
They attack me. Again they give complaint in police station. I also give complaint, but police not arrest anybody till they are outside of area. So I afraid further continuously live in Puliyur, our village. So I totally come out that place with family.
Have you received any support from the legal fraternity, the police, the government? Has anybody spoken out on your behalf?
I give a complaint. They told that watch that person. All are in outside, but no. I think no safe side for government till I am think the same.
Right, Mr. Murugesan, thank you so much for giving NDTV some of your time tonight. As we are saying, Pulyar Murugesan's book of 13 short stories is something that is creating a lot of controversy. People from a particular community called the Kongus in Tamil Nadu have protested, saying it shows their community in a bad light. He is saying it's about transgenders, it's not about any particular community. He's highlighting the plight, and above all, it is a work of fiction. Nonetheless, there is a police case now against him. He's been abducted, assaulted, and as by his own admission right now, is living in fear. Well, joining me to discuss this in the studio, Professor Irfan Habib, author and historian, joining us. From Chennai, we have Mr. C. Rajshekharan, a lawyer from the Madras High Court, and also in Delhi, Rajya Sabha MP D. Raja joining us. Mr. Rajshekharan, I want to first ask you, what is going on? This is the second author this year who is who has been receiving threats and fearing for his life in Tamil Nadu. Mr. Murugan, Perumal Murugan decided he was going to stop writing because of the kind of protests against his book, and now this.
See, Maya, you have to look this case on merits without any biased mindset.
Right.
See, you cannot write, the freedom of expression is there for everybody, but you have the responsibility for freedom of expression. You cannot write whatever you want, which is going to create communal disharmony among the people of the state, and refer to caste, which is going to create lot of problems. And you cannot write about transgenders and women and all this. You should take it into consideration on merits. When you write a story, it should have some kind of ethics and morale.
Okay.
You cannot write whatever you
All
want
right.
against a community or a gender.
Okay,
I totally disagree with the writers going beyond all barriers and all limits.
So you're saying this is
Which
taking
cannot
freedom
be-
of expression too far. Professor Habib, the writer is saying this is a work of fiction. He's trying to shed light on the plight of a particular community, but it is a work of fiction ultimately.
Oh, absolutely, and if you put such restrictions as just pointed out, then there's no liberty. You know, you just can't, like, if you write fiction, then your imagination has to actually just has no should have
You
should
can
have
write
no limits.
fiction. You can write fiction.
Of course, it is a fiction. That's what he's saying, and in that fiction, if he's trying
that
to
is his
depict.
contention, but the fact remains is different.
Okay, all right, Mr. Raja, as a lawmaker, I want you to come in on this. The fact is, the lawyer from Chennai, Mr. Rajshekharan, is saying this pushes the boundaries of freedom of expression. Since when does fiction in this country push those boundaries?
No, it is whether it is fiction or whether it is history, there should be objectivity. There should not be any prejudiced view. It should be very objective presentation of social realities and other realities. And I know that author has been writing for so many years, and suddenly, all of a sudden, one day on one novel, the issue was raised, and he was subjected to such a fear with great agony and anguish. He declared he would stop writing. And there was a big movement in the state of Tamil Nadu. Many progressive thinkers, writers, social movements, civil societies came forward to defend the
Okay, Mr. Rajshekharan,
right of the writer.
Right, Mr. Rajshekharan, what about this book do you find so particularly offensive? Have you read the book?
Yeah, I've heard it. I've not read it fully, but he has referred to a community, a caste in Karur district, which the majority community, and he has referred to some father, son, and the daughter-in-law, which is not right. I mean, as people say, the people over there say that it is a real story which he has depicted in his story, in his book, which hurts the sentiments and the feelings of the Gounder community.